I am that I am. I am divinity. Here on earth, having a human experience. Or you could say, here, within my imagination, imagining a human experience. Welcome, dear friends. It's been a while. We, John and I, his soul, his divinity, we've been blending together in some new ways. We've always been blended together in a sense, and yet together we imagined this experience of separation. And so did you. And then we created this thing, you call it mass consciousness. It's just you could say it's a communications network. A way to share experiences, to share imagination, so that in your imagination you can create something similar to ours, and we can create something similar to others. You call it mass consciousness, but that's all it is. You see, as you imagine, as your soul imagines itself, it sends out, you could call it a song. It sings a song. Others hear that song. They allow it to come into their imagination. And they create a version of their reality that matches that to some extent. And you hear their song, and you create a version of your reality that matches their song. That's all this is. I speak to you through John's voice, my human's voice. You hear that voice. That's the song, you could say. You create within your own imagination an avatar of me, singing to you, speaking to you, reminding you of who you are. You look at Earth as being so real, so solid. And that's how it seems, because that's how you imagined it. And now we are coming to the place where we are learning how to consciously imagine whatever we want. It won't be long and you'll be able to imagine your body in a whole new way. You'll be able to shift your imagination and find yourself in what you call the other realms. Place you forgot. It's not even a place, but it's an experience that you forgot. Oh, a part of you remembers it. Your soul knows it, lives it every day. But you, the human, forgot. So I invite you to open up. Open up your imagination. Don't try to conjure anything up with your mind. Just let it come to you from your soul. Let's take a little journey back to that moment that seems so long ago. It was only a breath ago. When you became aware of yourself, you asked yourself, who am I? And in that moment, you found yourself looking in the eyes of you, a part of you. And that part of you, that mirror image of you, said, I will go deep into our experience, deep into our imagination, and I will find out who we are. I will come back to you and show you who we are. And you went off. You didn't actually go anywhere, you just went deep. Inside yourself. Inside your imagination. And you had all of these experiences. Oh, you had some beautiful, incredible experiences. You had some horrible experiences. And everything in between. You ran into others who were doing the same thing. You couldn't really touch them. They live in their own dimension, so to speak. You could perceive them, you could feel them, but if you reached out and tried to touch them, your metaphorical hand just went right through them. Because they were in their own dimension. And they still are different. But you could feel them. And you could feel their song. And you could communicate. And then based on their song, you took it in, you created an avatar within yourself of that being. And they created an avatar of you within their imagination. And now you could talk. Now you could touch each other. Now you could interact. Oh, it was actually very, very confusing at first. And back then, this beginning of your journey, oh, creation happened so fast. You would hear something from another. Some, for lack of a better word, some thought would flicker through your imagination, and suddenly it would be real. It would be in your experience. Ah. Hmm. Sometimes that was a good thing. Sometimes it was a beautiful thing. Oh, you started to have these incredible experiences. But sometimes, equally as often, it could be a horrible thing. And you could have this painful, difficult experience. Oh, you couldn't really be hurt. But you for sure felt like it sometimes. You couldn't be killed. But people could take your energy. Yeah, they couldn't hold it for very long, because at some point you would break free, because that's your nature. But it hurt. You started having all of these different experiences. And it became more and more intense. You've heard the stories. Dear Tobias of the Crimson Circle told it so beautifully. You had all these experiences. Meanwhile, this other part of you stayed home, so to speak. And she, call it your consciousness, call it your soul, we don't care. Some people have all these definitions for the different parts of you. And we just call it soul, human and soul. And they are blending together. But we'll get to that. So this other part of you, she stayed home. She went to sleep, in a sense. A kind of sleep. She laid back. She was connected to you. She could feel some of your experiences. But mostly, she just held the energies for you, so that you could go out, so that you wouldn't get lost, so that you always had a connection with your home, within you, with your essence, your consciousness. So you went through all of these intense experiences. At some point, this creation is working with energy. You didn't even know what energy was, but here you were working with it, creating with it. You didn't understand it. And the chaos became so intense that everything started slowing down. Fear came in. And you and all the other beings finally got together and said, we have to do something. We might go out of existence. We don't know what will happen, but we need to understand what is happening. And there were various proposals put forward. One of those proposals was to create this place you call Earth. To breathe life into this rock in a distant corner of the universe. To create this place where you could slow everything down and make everything so solid and so real. And so you did. One of you, called Gaia, with the assistance of many of you, breathed herself into the planet, embodied it into it. You've heard that she's leaving. Well, remember, she's just one of you. And she's ready to go on to her next experience as we take over. As we take over her job. Oh, you feel the changes. You feel the chaos. It's because of these changes. So you came to Earth, you, the leaders, the ones with the vision, the ones who called the meeting, the ones who were the leaders of your angelic families. You came to Earth. You embodied here. Took a long, long time to work out all the details. You went through many, many experiences, replaying so many experiences from the past. Because you wanted to understand at the human level. It was just a lot of chaos. A lot of struggling to survive. Struggling to stay in your body. Oh, for so long. Because it took a long time to finally start to understand. The new angels, the ones who've been in the background waiting for you to do your thing, they're starting to come in now, and it goes much, much quicker for them because you've shown the way. There are even those of you who call yourselves Shambra, those who resonated with the messages of Tobias and of Adamus, Saint Germain. This ancient word of Shambra. Oh, there are new ones coming into this group, even now, who are, they've had a much shorter journey on Earth. They don't have nearly the baggage that some of you have, the ones who came originally. They seem to have such an easier time. It's because they didn't go through the process of figuring it all out. Figuring out through trial and error, through experiment after experiment, figuring out how energy and consciousness work. Well, you've heard of the Atlantean dream. Adamus has talked about it. Of how so many of you got together back then and said, we're going to find a way out of this. You felt trapped, you felt stuck, you didn't know where you'd come from or why, but you knew there was something beyond, and you had to find your way out. And here you are. You've found the answer. We, all of us together, have found the answer. And we speak mostly of this group called Shambra. There are others, but most of the people in the world, they're not on the same journey as you. They came here because it was an exciting game and because you needed extras, like in a movie. You needed people to bounce off of, to observe, to play things out for you, to act out all these roles. So you put out the word and said, come join us, and they did. But they're not on the same journey. Oh, they'll still have their realization, their enlightenment when they're ready. But they're extras in the movie. You who are here, you who are resonating with this message, you are the leaders. You are the stars in this play. You are the ones who said, we are going to go to Earth. We are going to work this out. We're going to bring what we learn back to everyone. So you went to Earth, you lost yourself, you seemed. There was still that part of you in the background, observing. But you had an agreement that that's all she could ever do, is observe, record, be your safety line, whatever, but simply observing. So you never actually got lost. But for you, the experiencer, the one that came into human, you lost yourself. You dove so deep, you forgot. And then, slowly, over so many lifetimes, 1,000, 2,000 lifetimes for some of you, for some of us, you gradually worked your way back out of the darkness, the forgetting. And you found the answer. You, dear friend, you found the answer. Oh, the human looks around and goes, what answer? I just feel more and more stupid these days. I don't have any answers. John's choking up because that's how he feels a lot right now. But dear friend, dear John, if you could only see from your soul's perspective, you found the answers. Oh, your soul, all this time, whenever You would die, your human would die. She would take the experiences of that lifetime. She would distill them, collect the wisdom from them, and put it into this golden nectar, golden sweet nectar. And she's been gathering that for all of this time. And in that, not in the human mind, but in that wisdom are the answers. And now, you have come to your final lifetime. You have the answers, no matter how confused the human might feel. You, the being that is you, you have the answers. And it's time to come home. That doesn't mean leaving the planet, leaving the human. It does in a way, but not the way that you've always known before. So come back into your own imagination, back to this moment where you asked, who am I? And this part of you popped up and said, I'm going to go find out. Now, look through your soul's eyes. For you, it's only been a moment. You have this chalice in your hand, full of this golden nectar. And you look, and you see yourself coming back. You see this human. The one that you designated to be the last one. The SND has been called. You see it walking toward you. As it does, you see all of these other humans that you have been. These are the lifetimes. Oh, they still exist. They're very real. They're just in a different part of your timescape. Now, you see this human coming toward you. And as it does, all of these others, they look up from whatever it is they were doing. They feel this wisdom that you hold. Only you're not just holding it. You're radiating it out to all of you. And each one of these lifetimes that you've been, they feel it. They look up and they begin to walk toward you. As they do, They blend in to this one. They merge together. And this human comes toward you. Oh, its light is getting so bright. As all of these other lights, all of these other beings blend into it. Its light is getting so bright. Oh, but this human is so tired. As it comes toward you, you can see, you can feel its exhaustion. For you, it was only a moment. But for all of these humans, and especially now, for this one human, it's been such a long journey. Such a difficult journey. As these other lifetimes blend in, their memories blend in. Not always in details, but certainly in feeling. The memories come in. And it's almost like it weighs this human down. Their soul. You need to feel this. You need to feel what your human is feeling. And you can now. Because everything has changed. This homecoming is also for you. You coming home to you. So see this human in front of you. It approaches timidly. It's afraid. It feels like it has failed so many times. Even now, it feels like a failure, like it doesn't even know how to approach you, their soul. Dear soul, take it in your arms. Take this human, all the humans you have ever been. Take it in your arms. Breathe your life, your strength, your wisdom into these humans. Into this human. It represents them all. Let it feel you. They're human. Accept this love from your soul. She loves you so much. You never failed, ever. There's nothing you need to do except receive. Receive this love. Receive this wisdom. And everything that comes with it. And feel as the two of you, the all of you, gently blend together. So you gradually, dear human, come to see through your soul's eyes and your soul's perspective. At the same time, the soul, for the first time ever, can truly see through your eyes, feel through your senses. Now, for both of you, this is a confusing time. So much wisdom has come. So many experiences you've felt. Your soul is feeling them on a whole new level. As she does, they're human. You feel them too. Look through your soul's eyes and you'll see that you never failed. You never got anything wrong. You simply went through a series of intense experiences in order to gather the wisdom and answer the big questions. And now it is done. It is truly done. You've heard of Heaven's Cross. If you haven't, it's on the Crimson Circle website. This thing that happened a little over a year ago. Oh, it was so much more than just the completion of the Atlantean dream. This was about the completion of so much. The completion of the very reason for Earth's existence. This was about bringing the answers that you have discovered into consciousness. Oh, it was hard work. Many beings did not want it to happen. They liked their games, they liked their power. That power is it's falling apart because the game is over. Some will continue to play with it for a time. But you have found the answer. You, dear friend, And you have come home. Welcome home. Welcome home. You and your soul. There's no longer an other that is your soul. You've blended together. Your soul is here with you. That doesn't mean that everything in your human life suddenly changes, but it is changing. There's, especially for those of you who've been here from the beginning, who've fit in so many thousands of lifetimes, searching out the answers. You could say you're so tired. You carry so many wounds, so much baggage, so much shame. It's difficult now to let all of that go. But that's what you're doing. Turning it over to Soul, who is taking it, who does feel your exhaustion, who is so grateful for your journey, who loves you so much. Because you did find the answer, the biggest answer of all. I exist. I am that I am. And I imagine. Whatever I imagine is what I experience. I can imagine according to the song of others and live out their imagination, their lives. Or I can come back to myself, to my own song, and allow that to shape my imagination. And don't try to conjure things up. That's just the mind playing a power game. Allow it to come to you from your soul. And allow yourself to feel yourself coming home, being home. No longer coming home, but being home. Oh, there's still residue. Your soul is holding you. Your soul is gently washing you, you could say. Gently clearing away the residue. Takes time. Sometimes that, to use a childhood metaphor, sometimes that dirt is so deep that it takes a lot of scrubbing to get it off. That is happening. And it's your soul's job, not you, the human. For you, the human, your job is to simply live your life. Often we say your job is simply to enjoy life, but even that is too much of an agenda. Your job is simply to be in your life, however it feels. We've kept John busy for the last several weeks with moving, with cleaning, with all these different things to keep his mind busy so that as his soul I can clear all of these things for him. And for so many of you, that's happening also. Don't worry. If your body still hurts, that's just what bodies do on earth. It's very likely that it will get better in time. It will change. There's so much residue that we are clearing away. And as we do, you feel it. Your body feels it. But it's not your job anymore. John keeps looking at his life, asking himself, what do I have to say when my life still feels like a mess in so many ways? Oh, there's some really beautiful parts of it. It's a beautiful relationship. It's an amazing woman. He's now living out here in the mountains of western Slovenia, the edge of the Alps. This little cabin up in the mountains. It's beautiful here. It's quiet. It's far away. It's a perfect place for right now to let this happen. And it has its own challenges. They have to bring water. The old solar system is starting to fail. But it'll all work out. John's job is to simply be here in this life. It's up to him, actually, whether he enjoys it or not. And there's so much that he does enjoy, and there's other parts that he doesn't, and that's okay. But be in it. Be in your life. Be with your body that hurts, or that doesn't hurt. Be in your life as it is. That's your job. Everything else now is up to your soul. You don't have to get anything right. You don't have to figure anything out. We've talked before about letting soul drive the train, and we'll talk about it again very soon. Because it's no longer your job, and you, the human, you try to work things out, you try to control things, you try to imagine a better life, and all of this. All you do is get in your own way. Let soul do that. Just open up to the life that is here right now. Because it's your life. It's your experience. It's part of who you are. And you're never ever again going to get to go through this experience. You have memories, but live it while you have it. Have this experience. Be in this life. And it will evolve. It will smooth out eventually. John says, oh, we've heard that a lot. Yes, and it's true. But we're still cleaning off the residue. So let it happen. You can't not let it happen. That you can scream and holler, or you can simply be in life. Let it unfold around you. It's not giving up. Simply letting your soul take charge. You show up and you do what you know to do in the moment. You always know what to do in a particular moment. So trust that. Allow life to unfold. Allow the celebration of this final lifetime, this grand homecoming, to play out in all of its glory. And John says, in all of its intensity and beauty. And so it is.